here today I'm with a special person right here at the Southern Africa and doing interview with an Archeo Astronomer, researcher, author and founder of the Sacred Site Foundation, Dean Liprini. Hello, Dean.
Yes, hello, Andre. Nice to be here with you.
Oh, it's so nice to be here in South Africa with you. It's something new for me, you know, too.
Yes, yes.
Well, you've spent more than, I don't know, 20 years researching the sacred sites of the ancients here at the southern tip of Africa.
Yes.
Where the two great primal oceans meet, like Atlantic and Indian Oceans, unite in one.
Yes.
That's quite a long period of time researching. What led you to this path?
Yeah. I think it was something that has always been my passion for the ancient people, understanding the ancient ways, and have always had a deep connection to the earth, to the mountains, to the sea, and as a young child, probably 10 years old, I had my first revelation, insight to some of the ancient consciousness and wisdom of the ancient people in a cave up on the mountain in Cape Town called the Elephant's Eye, and I have just followed my journey very much guided by spirit. Yeah.
Wow, it feels like a very profound personal story, the unfoldment of your life story.
Yes.
But did you always knew, like, you want to go to this path, you want to now research more, go deeper into the sacred sites?
Yes, it was not clear as a youngster. Even that day in the cave experience, I forgot. It was only after coming back to the connection to the ancient people that I remembered that time as a youngster, which gave me the guidance that I'm on my right path. So it was through reconnection when I was about 20 years old with a sacred stone that I had found where in the Orange River, where there was a big set of petroglyphs where they make dot-to-dot pictures of the animals and the river, and there's a certain stone tool that gets used for making this what they call a hen peck. You know the hen's beak? I don't know what you call a hen in Slovenian. But that pecking action,
Yes.
you have to have a special tool, stone tool, to make that dot in the stone. And when I spent time in this place, I was mesmerized by the drawing, and then in the way distance there were many stones, but there was one stone that was shining amongst the rest. I went over, picked the stone up, and I could see the stone fitted perfectly into my hand, and that it was the tool that had been used to make this dot-to-dot. And it was after a night of meditation, sitting with this stone tool in my hand, that I connected with the spirit of the rock, and the nature of the rock, and the spirit and the nature of the person who had fashioned that stone tool. And I realized that the consciousness of the two was very high. The stone tool was not just, it was like a mathematical instrument. It had been very carefully chosen for the nature of itself, the sacred geometry, the shape. It had been carefully fashioned to fit the fingers, each finger with a thumb grip, so that when you struck down, the tool would hit every single time in exactly the same place. So my appreciation for the ancient peoples that night was very high and reawakened within myself. Yeah.
Wow.
And from that day on, I followed the path. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm.
And tell us now more maybe about the sacred sites. You know, how do you recognize them as sacred? Because probably you've discovered them through some feelings, or how did you discover, like here in South Africa, those sacred spaces?
The first sites I was guided to were just guided. You can say by spirit. You can say by my higher self, my higher consciousness led me to the place, and the very first one was a big granite boulder that had been placed on top of two others that was fashioned into a human head, the whole thing, three-dimensional, with a hole through the eye that had been drilled right through the granite, okay? And this eye was facing exactly to the cardinal directions of east and west, and the face was facing north and south. So the whole head had been orientated to the cardinal directions. And after spending, I came back at when I first found this big stone head with the eye hole. I said, this is a Stone Age telescope, you know, for watching the stars.
Wow. Yes.
And I came back at the full moon, and when the moon came past the mid-heaven and went to the west, when it hit due west, the light came through of the moon, came through the eye and shone the whole shadow onto the rock wall, and inside the shadow was a golden eye of the moonlight. And for me this was an amazing evening, a night. I spent the whole night there, and it was as though the rocks were talking to me. The spirit of the rocks, the spirit of the people, the ancestors that had imprinted part of their spirit and their consciousness into this sacred place, and given me some insight to what this structure was and how it was a tool for them to communicate with the gods, the heavens above. And so having that understanding of the pathways of the sun and the moon, what I did is I plotted from that site, which is on Lion's Head in Cape Town, okay? My first east-west line. And that line, it cuts straight through the South African Astronomical Observatory, through their telescope. So I knew there must be something going on here. Yeah, Stone Age telescope meets modern day telescope. There must be something in the placement of these two telescopes. And I followed the lead, and I went to that observatory, spoke to the people. They told me, what you're doing is Archeo Astronomy, and gave me the formulas to plot the sun, the moon, the pathways of the sun and the moon. And at that point I decided I'm going to follow this pathway of the sun due east for as long as it takes for me to see if it leads me from one place to another, to another, to another, and if the same sacred geometry, same message is repeating itself. And this is what I do.
And what have you discovered?
Well, that yes, there were these sacred places are all the way across the tip of Africa, and the ancient beings that have interacted with these places over possibly even up to 70,000 years ago, were of a high intelligence, high consciousness, were deeply connected to the spirit of the land, and had a deep understanding of the cosmos, the sun, the moon, the stars, and how they impacted on their lives. So these were very sacred places. Those places that were first touched by the rays of the rising sun, and those that were last lit by the setting sun, these were sacred places, and where they set up these monuments to honor the great god of light, the sun, and the other heavenly bodies, the moon, and various planets as well, and stars that had significance to them.
There's probably, it's not a coincidence that you're born at these times and discovering sacred sites at this time of our lives.
Yeah.
Maybe any comment here?
Yeah. Because it's a very good comment, because if these particular sacred sites and these artifacts that I'm presenting, that are showing sometimes geometric marker stones, perfect equilateral triangles with holes through them, tripods also resting on 3 feet on the top of a particular significant geographic point, the granite head with the eye hole drilled through it. If these things had been brought forward, let's say 30 years ago or 40 years ago, it would have been in the time of the apartheid regime, and where there was a staunch government that was very right-wing and had strong Christian belief systems. So if they had seen these things, and these things had been brought forward, they would have said, "Dis die duivel se goed," which is in Afrikaans, it's the devil's. These are the devil's work, and they would have just blown these things up, or potentially they could have destroyed them. So, in that way, the timing is right that this has come forward now, where there is an African government in place that still has the understandings of ritual and honoring of the sun, the moon, the stars, and so on, still is part of their tribal mythology and belief system. So they can relate to these sacred places.
So it feels like you're reactivating those sacred sites again. And I don't know, maybe what I feel, why are they so important to be actually discovered again or brought into light, into the public, into people's consciousness?
Yes.
Because I had a chance to go with you on the tour, and it was an amazing experience. So I want you to share why it's important to bring people here.
At the moment, the Earth is going through. The Earth continues to have cycles within itself, small cycles and big cycles. Some of these are physical cycles that change the Earth as we know it. Extreme weather changes like ice ages, floodings that can happen. So there is a history of this, and one can see that in the sediment and the layers of geology that are in the Earth. So we know that these cycles happen from the tilt of the Earth, the wobble of the Earth, and the passage around the sun. So the ancient people that lived 100,000 years ago, perhaps even 200,000 years ago, they've had the opportunity of living through some of these great cycles, these great cataclysmic events, climatic events that have played out on the planet. And therefore, when we access the collective knowledge through spending time in these sacred places, we start to remember aspects of our ancient selves that are going to help us to overcome situations that may reoccur, and we will know how to overcome them because we've experienced them before and we've survived. And my belief is that many of these sacred sites around the world are now, people are becoming are able to travel to them, to experience, to spend time so that they can remember aspects of their ancient self that can help pave them individually as they walk their path into the future, but also collectively as a collective consciousness of humanity as well. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's really a time for this. And also maybe another aspect of those sacred sites, do you think they have also some kind of healing potential? If someone comes there, how it affects him on all the levels of the body also, and
yes.
I don't know, consciousness, everything. Right?
Yes. Yeah. The Earth is made up of many different layers of consciousness. So we can start with those geological layers, the granite, which would be the bones of the earth, the crystal grid, as some people would maybe term it. We have the sedimentary rock, the layers, and these geological layers create a vibration, a frequency. So the type of rock it is, what minerals it has in it, quartzite, silica, mica, the sediment, if it's got lots of iron in it, zinc, various crystals, even the color of the earth holds a frequency, a vibration. So those geological layers are like a song, like instruments in a band or an orchestra. And then we have the layers of elemental energies that have impacted on the earth. So the floods that we spoke about, fires, earthquakes, where there were big faults, mountains that were created, pieces that were pushed up, and those also are memories recorded in the geology in that particular place. So again, another component to the collective song of that land. And the other layers are the sacred geometry, so the actual shape of the earth. Some are rounded, some are pointed, some are female, some are male energies. And these also send off an energy field of their own. So that will also affect the frequency, the vibration of a particular place. And the history of the plant kingdom, how that's impacted on that particular place, what kinds of plants have been living here over these different climatic times. So in the Karoo, there used to be jungle. Now it's almost like desert. So those are memories that are encoded into the place from the fossils and what plants and flowers and grasses were there at any particular time. this time. And then the history of the people that were there, how they perhaps did rituals, ceremony in those places. So they shared their spirit, and their prayers are encoded into the song of that place. The wars that may have been fought there, and battles. These are all memories that form part of that collective song. What's happening with the stars, how the stars are impacting on that particular place at that particular time. Like when we were at the pyramid with the all-seeing eye, what was going on cosmically at that exact moment? We had Mercury that was working with us energetically. So all these places have this beautiful song, and some of them may be useful for healing people. So it's about understanding the individual song as well, because you also come like layers of consciousness. So you are also an orchestra within yourself. And if you come with a certain disease, where you are at dis-ease, okay?
Yeah.
The music is not quite playing so great, a little bit out of tune. You may be able to go to a certain place on the earth where the song is perfecto for you, and it will have the ability to retune you, reset your frequencies, get your song playing at its best. So bring you to your highest potential, so that you can sing your song and share your gift with the world at this time.
And is there maybe any specific note or tone in this song at sacred sites in South Africa? Like that they have something in common, what differs them from other sacred sites of the world? Or you can see any, I don't know, something that is specific for this place? Or what is Africa, or actually Southern Africa, bringing to humanity?
I think each sacred place has got its own unique note that can be of value to different individuals. Collectively, the tip of Africa is the peninsula, the southwestern tip of Africa is like a giant tuning fork off the tip of Africa, or a root chakra, a coccyx at the tip of Africa. So a primary root that is singing its song and vibrating and affecting the rest of the greater rock of Mother Africa. So if you take a big rock and you just hit it, boom, 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 it won't make much noise. But if you've got a rock with a little piece sticking off the edge, you can tap it with one finger, and it will go doom, 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 and the whole rock will go doom, 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 doom. It will all take on that song. So this tip of Africa where we are, the Cape Peninsula, is a very special place, because whatever's going on here has the ability to affect the rest of Mother Africa. And Mother Africa, being the most centered landmass on the earth, and where we see that all the other continents drifted away from originally, and hence why I say it's called Mother Africa, because all the others are like the pieces of the mother, or children that drifted away, but are still connected energetically to Mother Africa, this big stable heart in the center of the earth. So when one works with these sacred places, one needs to be very clear about one's intention that one is seeding into a particular place, because that intention is going to go into the bones of the earth. It is going to sound out through from the root, from the base chakra, from the tuning fork, into the rest of Africa, and it will have a conscious effect on the collective.
Quite a special place, really, here.
Yes.
It can be felt in the energies here. It's not even coincidence that it's called Mother Africa. I don't know, maybe we can tap into this mother aspect, actually divine feminine, that is also now reawakening in the world. And it's very much present, I guess, here, exactly in Africa. But it's, of course, it's rebalancing both sides, feminine and masculine. But Great Mama takes it all under their wings, or did you, any specific energies, how do you feel with, I don't know, divine feminine now here in...
I feel there is a shift of consciousness now. There has been a strong patriarchal energy alive in the world at large, and the energy of the woman, the divine feminine, has been very suppressed, but this is changing very, very rapidly. So we all have to take responsibility as individuals to honor equally the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the divine child within us. So in Africa, the belief is that we are made up as individuals of these three beings. The divine mother, the divine father, the divine child are all within us. And they are gifts that we have. So even a woman like yourself can use the power of the Abba, the Father, if you need to. It's within you as well. And you can always remember the spirit of the child and have some fun and play. These are all very important parts of us that we need to take responsibility for. So we need to love the Father within us. We need to love the Mother within us. We need to love the child within us. So it all starts here. So what we do here is the best work we can ever do for the rest of humanity. So to catch ourselves when the angry father is overdoing his stuff, where he's out of control, and we need to realize that energy within us is out of control, and we need to bring it in and calm it down and know how much of each of these energies to use at any given time. So in other traditions people talk about the sword and the feather. So you may be too strong with the sword. If someone comes, a situation plays out in front of you, and you pull out your sword, and you just chop the guy's head off, or the woman's head off. And I don't mean that literally, but energetically, you go at them. But that wasn't necessary. We know the skill of the sword. We mastered it, masters of it. All we needed to do was just touch the sword, and that was enough of the Abba, the Father energy, the male energy, to use in that particular situation. And the same thing is, if we use too much of the mother, we become too soft with too much with the feather, then people are going to just walk all over you. So it's a fine balance. But once we honor those three energies within us equally, we understand them more and more. We know how to bring the individual and the collective skill and gift of those three energies within us forward at any given time of any given day to help us with any situation.
And how are these energies reflected in Earth?
Okay, the energies are also there. So for me, I take a lot of guidance from the outer landscapes. And I don't find any separation from the outer landscape to the inner landscape. So whenever I'm ascending a mountain, I am connecting with the mountain as an energy system. And I begin the ascension process from the base chakra of that mountain and move up through the energies. And as I'm doing that, I am unifying myself with that mountain and unifying my energies with that mountain, so that that there's a conscious communication that is constantly taking place, and a constant consciousness and understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, that all is connected. And this way we come respectfully to the mountain, and as we're respecting the mountain, we're respecting ourselves also. And so we open a channel of communication to a higher form of consciousness, a higher level of connection and understanding with ourselves. And so hopefully we're getting the higher guidance and direction for the way forward with regards to our own path and our own gift that we have to share with the world in this lifetime.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really new. That's a connection with the nature as it should be, probably.
Yeah, and that's it. We are all just, for me, it's all about, the work I'm doing is really about helping people to remember. So for me, my work is to help create the space for people to approach these places more respectfully, and in that way, helping them to become more conscious and respectful of themselves. And in this way, the honoring of these divine energies within us becomes more conscious, and we can work with them in a much greater and higher way for the good of all.
It's a beautiful work that you're doing. And you also wrote a beautiful book, Pathways to the Sun.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe you can show it.
Yeah, that's it.
People can see it.
There you go, Pathways of the Sun.
What would you say is the main message that you're delivering with this book? Actually, probably something what we already talked about, but maybe in one sentence, what would you share?
Yes, that we are all connected, and therefore we need to be conscious of our collective energy, our individual energy, our thoughts, our intentions, our prayers have great power. So we need to use them responsibly.
And you also work closely to indigenous shamans here and healers. I don't know, what do you say, what is their message, or what they say for these times that we are in right now? Do they have any, or you all together have any wisdom that needs to be shared, widely now?
I think it comes back to individual responsibility, and we need to wake up. So reawakening the layers of our beingness, taking full control of our full capacity is important at this time, because otherwise we continue to allow people, consortiums, governments to control us, to have power over us, to manipulate us. We need to stand as individual beings, so that we can see the truth within ourselves. So there's a lot of information and there's a lot of disinformation, like right now. So if we're in our full power, we should be able to receive this information from people, governments that are sharing it with us, Some people are sharing it from the heart. Some people are just throwing it at us. But we need to be able to deflect all the ego, all the bullshit, and see the truth within whatever information is coming from us. And we can only do that if we are in our center and in our power.
I think that's a great coming to conclusion now of our talk.
Yes.
I could talk with you for more time, but I guess we said the main things now. So maybe just your last message that you would like to somehow feel to share right now for all that will watch this interview.
I guess there's one man's message that still stands true today, and that is be the change you want in the world, with old Gandhi. So for me, those are some profound, simple words, but that comes down to the essence of who we are and what we are, and how we share our gift with the rest of the world.
Wow, thank you so much, Dean. That was a beautiful talk.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, and thank you to all of you for coming and spending time here in South Africa. And I hope you will spread the word about the spirit and the consciousness that is growing here, and that you'll come back and visit us soon.
For sure. So thank you all for watching. I really want to invite you all to take this message in your heart and really try to feel who you are, what you are, how you are connected with nature, and how you can take the responsibility for our work, because we are all one, and it's time to be the change that we want to see in the world. So thank you all, and bye.